Hey now, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I haven't made a video in a few days, but that's because I was on vacation, I was out of the country, had a lot of fun. But that's not what this video is about. No, this video is about the TV shows that I missed in the week of my absence. Of course, the week that I'm gone, that's when all of my shows decide to come back. The timing couldn't have been worse, but still, as soon as I got back, what did I do? I spent almost the whole day binge watching all of my shows, so I'm here to talk about these shows. Let's start with Supergirl, episode 10 now, entitled Childish Things. At the very beginning of the episode, we see Martian Manhunter and Supergirl flying together. I loved it. That was a great image to start this episode with. Bringing in Martian Manhunter is the single best thing that this show has done. I love it. I love seeing the design of him. He looks so perfect as the character. Seeing her interact with Martian Manhunter, I loved it. And then even throughout the episode, seeing how John Jones, how he has this hang up, this issue where he almost doesn't want to be the Martian for any longer than he has to, because he does things, he has abilities that he can't really control, or they're pretty brutal, like when he wiped away the memories of this one guy in this episode. It's interesting to see where that's going to go, and if he's just going to learn to deal with it, or if he is going to veer away from being a Martian. But the plot of the episode was we see the toy maker break out of jail, and I admit the whole yo-yo thing with the razors coming out of it and the way how he killed the cops with it, I don't know. I thought that was kind of silly and goofy, to be honest. I mean, I like the toy maker in general. He's an interesting character. But I don't know. I thought that was silly. His connection, though, to Win, the fact that he's Win's father, I liked it a lot. In fact, I think this episode I liked Win the most. He got a lot of things to do. I understood the character a lot more. The moments where he was scared, legit scared of someday, one day, becoming like his father. Being this nice guy one day and then just snapping and becoming evil. I got him. It wasn't until the moment where he kissed Kara, that's when I thought, alright, well, look, we've been there. At least I think some of us guys have been there, where you like a girl and it doesn't work out, right? She doesn't like you back, or whatever. So we've been there. It sucks. I relate to him in this situation. I guess I just didn't think this was the best timing for that. As much as I have been complaining about, hey, just fucking tell her that you like her, get it over with. It wasn't the best time. Also, I did like Kara in this whole episode, really. Because in these superhero shows, it's easy for a superhero to have all of these friends who are willing to do anything for them. But it was refreshing to see the hero do whatever she could for her friend. She was helping him out. And then even when he kissed her, she was still trying to salvage their friendship. She was trying to just be nice to him. And so I appreciated that. But he doesn't want to be friends. He doesn't want to just pretend anymore. So I don't know what's going to happen there. It's kind of a shitty situation. Side plot is Lucy Lane. She gets offered a job by Cat Grant. And Jimmy Olsen, he doesn't seem like he likes the idea. And at the end of the day, I don't really know why. Now, at first, I thought maybe Cat was right. That he was afraid Lucy being in the office would mess up the friendship or the flirtationship he has with Kara, whatever's going on there. But he claimed that no, he just wants her to be happy, he's okay with her getting the job, and then they just kind of kiss and make up by the end of it. So, maybe a little unnecessary drama, I guess, but let's see what happens if she actually does take the job. Maxwell Lord gets a good amount to do here. Obviously, we now know that he has some experiment going on. Phoenix, I think they call it, Project Phoenix, with the girl who I don't know if she's going to become Bizarro, a version of Bizarro towards Supergirl. I don't know. He's creating something. I can't wait to see what it is. But the fact that like he has that dinner scene with Alex, who Alex was looking pretty damn good in that dress. I'm not going to lie. But Maxwell Lord is 10 steps ahead of even her. You know, she's a smart character, but even she didn't realize that he put a camera on her purse. Because that whole scene of when Supergirl showed up back to the apartment and, like, they get together on the couch and they're having snacks and they're watching, I think she said Game of Thrones. Awesome. And, like, Kara just stayed in her Supergirl costume. And, like, I was sitting there thinking, okay, I guess that's kind of cool to see a superhero still in costume or just after being in costume, but like she's just hanging out, chilling out. But I did think it was weird. I did question it, like, oh, that's kind of weird that she's staying in her costume until you see the camera, and Maxwell Lord, because of the camera, now knows that Supergirl and Alex are sisters. He now knows this. What is he going to do with this information? I don't know. But that explains why she stayed in costume the whole freaking time. Either way, I enjoyed the episode. I did. Let's now talk about Agent Carter, because this is Season 2. The 2-hour premiere. Actually, technically, it was really just the first 2 episodes, and they put them back to back. But I'm not complaining. It was a lot of fun. This reminded me just how much I like Agent Carter, just as a show in general. At the very beginning, seeing Peggy catch Dottie was very cool. The whole bank robbery scene, and Dottie's wearing like a Peggy Carter outfit, and then the fight that they have in the safe room, and she uses the money bags on her. Like, that was very cool, very different. And the interrogation scene, I was just surprised that Dottie was caught so quickly, and I was a little bit upset, thinking like, oh wow, did they just do away with the Dottie storyline, like just got rid of her because Peggy is going to go to LA? I guess not really. I guess they're going to keep Dottie around for a little bit, so I like that. And Peggy is now going to go to LA to work with Daniel Sosa, which, of course, he's now dating somebody else. So there was some little maybe triangle going on because Peggy has feelings for him, but it was never really going to work out because of the situation. But at least the girl that Sosa's dating is a nice girl, a good girl. Like, there's no reason to dislike her, so there's no reason for me to be upset, for example, that he's dating her. Plus, I guess Peggy has this pseudo thing going on with this new character, Dr. Jason Wilkes, who is a black guy. And I'm only bringing this up not just because Peggy Carter is a white woman and her romantic lead, or one of them, is a black guy. I'm not just saying the race thing. It's more important to bring this up because of the timeline that this show takes place in. It's in the 1940s, like 47. And racism, it still existed nowadays, but back then, holy shit. I was even more surprised that we had a black character that was a doctor, that like it was so casual about it that I was thinking, okay, if this is taking place back then, I don't know, no one's really bringing it up until the one scene where they go into the store and the one guy is giving him shit, being a dick to him, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Now we're doing it. Now we're playing off of it. So, like, at least it's not too in your face, but they still dealt with it. I like that. And I just like the idea of her hooking up with a black dude. Why not? Of course, we don't know what happens to him by the end of the episode, or the second episode, when the explosion goes off and that weird black goo looks like a symbiote. It might have more connection to do with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., though, because they had something similar to that. So we'll see what happens. Also, it was very good to see Jarvis. That character, first of all, is funny. I love that actor. He's hilarious. He has a lot of good moments, but like, it's not forced comedy. It's just natural. He comes in, lightens the mood up, has a lot of good moments. It's cool to meet his wife, finally, because how awkward were those scenes in Season 1 where he was talking to his wife, but we never saw her. She was out of the room or on the phone or something. It was just, we never saw her. Now we see her. I like the character. She seems fun. Complete opposite of him. Works. Another thing I was a little upset about, I'll be honest, is the lack of Angie. Angie ended up kind of being Peggy's best friend by the end of the first season. And I liked the actress, and I liked her friendship with Peggy. And I don't know, just the way how season 1 ended, you'd think they'd still, I don't know, maybe be living together or friends. I don't know, but she wasn't present, and they never even brought her up. So I was a little upset that she wasn't mentioned or there, and I looked it up, and she is going to come back at some point in this season, so that's good news. I just thought it was weird they didn't bring her up. All in all, love the premiere. The show is great. I mean, dare I say it's better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. itself? But I don't want to piss anybody off by saying that. Now let's talk about The Flash. When the whole recap, at the beginning of the episodes, they show the recap to remind you about what's going on. As soon as that hit, this was kind of the only one of these shows that I had to watch today. When I got to Flash, I just smiled. I had a smile on my face as soon as I pressed play and saw the beginning. This show makes me feel happy. And it's a good feeling to have starting it and hearing Barry Allen go through his narration about his origin and his life and whatnot. You see him having a dream, you find out, about Zoom killing Patty one day, someday. And that was hard. It was disturbing. It sucked. It was good to find out it was just a dream, because I really liked the Patty character. It's not easy to bring in a brand new character to an established show in its second season where we already have so many characters, but you're bringing in a new one, and for me to instantly like her, especially as a love interest, I don't know, something about the actress or the writing or whatever, their chemistry, she worked a lot, and I buy them moving this quickly together, as they mentioned. But there's a few moments where Barry's coming to a crossroads where he's like, okay, I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell Patty that I'm the Flash. And I was waiting for it. I was like, yes, finally. Tell her the truth. She deserves it. There's even a moment when she got upset towards the end because obviously circumstances, Barry doesn't tell her yet. And she gets mad at Barry because Barry seems like he just keeps bailing on her or lying to her and this and that. And she was putting up for it. But even she says, look, I've been a good girlfriend. I've been putting up with this, and I've been trying to be patient, but you're not committing. And out of all of the girlfriends of a superhero that you see make these arguments because they don't know the truth, sometimes, like Mary Jane in the Spider-Man movies, you get sort of annoyed at the female lead. You get mad, and you go like, fuck, just understand what he's going through. Or maybe they come off bitchy the way how they complain. Patty doesn't. Patty is like, you get it. You get why she's upset. And I like her a lot. I was a little nervous when the metahuman of the episode, Turtle, kidnaps her. I really liked his powers, though. Interesting. It's like the complete opposite of Flash. He was very powerful, where he could slow everything down, even slowed the Flash down. And he kidnaps Patty, of course, so now I'm thinking, okay, is she going to die? That would really suck. And so Flash is able to save her, but Barry never gets the chance to tell her the truth, because now she's leaving Central City, I guess. That sucked. I mean, look, is it better than her dying? Yes. Is it better than, I don't know, her finding out and maybe being upset, pissed? I don't know. I wanted this to work. I wanted the two of them to work and be together. I want her to stay on the show. So that's why this sucks in a lot of ways. Hopefully, she's still not officially gone yet. Who knows? Just right now, in this moment, I think it sucks. Let's talk about Harrison Wells, because he has his issue now, right? He has that deal to save his daughter. He has to, take the speed away from Flash for Zoom. And so I guess I can't tell if he's still working towards that, or when he hears that Cisco is trying to work on maybe possibly taking Zoom speed away, if he's going to try for that, try plan B, and who knows? Either way, I understand his point of view, or where he's coming from. I really like the scene where he tells Cisco the story on why they call Zoom Zoom. Because even Cisco made fun of the name Zoom and how dumb it was. Although I never really thought it was a dumb name. But I guess you can make the argument that it is a dumb name. But Harrison Wells' story on what Zoom did on Earth 2, how he killed 14, 16 cops, and then left one alive to tell the story. And then after he did that, he went back and killed that guy. Like, it's just very disturbing. But the way how he described it is that he was a blue light of Zoom going through. It's just very cool, but also menacing, dark. So that's what I like. I like that they came close, but didn't try to make Zoom a goofy character in any way. Side plot, Wally West is kind of being a dick, which I wasn't really expecting to get this from him when he first shows up, but I guess he's not interested, or he didn't seem interested in being a family again. Like, I get it. Look, I'm somebody personally who grew up without a father, and so you can understand the anger, you can understand the frustration, you can understand the whole, like, fuck him, I'm going to do this on my own. You get that, but I don't think Joe West deserves that, first of all. Joe West is such a great father, such a great character. The actor I love. He's possibly my favorite character on this show, Joe West. Really like him. Like, I'd love to have him as a father. He cares that much. You buy him in all of his scenes. And I even buy how he wanted to have that relationship with his son. He wanted to make up for lost times, maybe. But even, like, he's so understanding to the point where, like, he sees that Wally's street racing and doing all this dumb shit. He's like, whatever. He's like, you know what? He even apologizes to Wally for maybe trying too hard. And he's willing to give him space. And he's like, we'll move slow. We'll move at your speed. Like, just how understanding is this guy? I'm telling you, great character. We'll see what happens with him. And then the very, very end, like the last shot, is Reverse Flash showing up. What? Even in the preview where they're showing him doing his stuff, it's like I don't know what's going on. I don't know how this is possible. He should have been wiped from existence, but it's kind of exciting, and I want to see what they're going to do with this. There's so much going on. Like, Zoom is still out there, and the introduction of Killer Frost is still impending. So I can't wait. I love The Flash. Obviously, great episode. Now let's talk about Arrow. Arrow is, well, the very first thing we see is now 4 months from now. The grave scene, the tombstone scene. Oliver and Barry, they're in front of this tombstone, and we don't know who's dead, and it's this whole big issue. And I'll even jump ahead to the end, because this scene also bookends the episode, where you see Oliver going in a limo, and Felicity is sitting next to him. So now we finally know that Felicity is not the dead person, which I was relieved. But then I instantly got upset. I got upset because then my first thought was, it better not be Diggle. And I think I know who it is, but the possibility of it being Diggle is very upsetting. The only other person I think it is probably Lance, because they're foreshadowing it a lot, with them saying, like, Dark is, he now knows that you're working with Arrow, so be careful. He's like, I can take care of myself. So they're kind of foreshadowing it, but maybe that's a bluff, and maybe it will be a surprise. I don't want that to be the case. It could be Thea. It really could be anybody. It could be Laurel. Like, people, pretty much whoever we haven't seen yet, it could be them. But Felicity is in the hospital because of those gunshot wounds, and she needs surgery, and eventually we see that she's going to be paralyzed, I guess, or they said permanent damage to her spine. When they said paralyzed, or couldn't move, couldn't walk, I instantly said, holy shit, she's going to be Oracle. She's going to be Oracle, and like, a part of me thinks that's cool, like really cool, and then another part of me doesn't love that because that's Barbara Gordon, and I don't want to, like, do that. But we'll see. We'll see, because it didn't really look like she was paralyzed in the limo, the bookend scene. But who knows? She was sitting down already. So again, we just don't know. I love that this Felicity's condition drove Oliver almost not insane. He wasn't like batshit out of his mind, but he almost went back to season 1 Oliver, where he was ruthless. He was aggressive. He was damn near killing people. He definitely let one guy get electrocuted. He didn't seem to care. He might not have killed people, but he was willing to go there, or he was close to going back there. And I almost like seeing this. Not that I want or I love the hero killing people. I kind of like seeing somebody driven to that point. Even the scene where he's talking to Felicity and he says, "Look, I'm upset that possibly me not being more aggressive got you in the situation." So again, I understand it. I liked it. Even seeing Diggle interrogate his own brother, which when I say interrogate, I mean he beat the shit out of him. So Diggle getting his own storylines is fascinating as well. It's something that I've been craving for a while. So I hope he doesn't get killed. Let's talk about Anarchy, because Anarchy we just saw him a few episodes ago. I wasn't expecting to see him again until maybe next season, which is what they usually do, right? Well, no, he's back here, and he's now full-fledged Anarchy. He's Anarchy from the comics that I know, and I'm fascinated by his character. I'm interested by this character. I like the mask he was wearing. I love him leaving his mark everywhere. I even love that he had this vendetta against Dark, a villain going after a villain. You don't see that too often, especially on these shows. And I even love the fact that Oliver was so desperate, so angered, he was willing to let Anarchy go off and basically do whatever the fuck he wanted to get to Dark. And who knows, he eventually said that he was just tracking him, but it's like I bought the fact that when he told him to kill Dark, that I believed it. I believe that's what he wanted. And everybody's getting on Oliver, like Laurel and Diggle to a certain extent, but Diggle seemed more understanding. Laurel was definitely more upset, more pissed. I like Laurel. I think I've liked her more now than I ever have, and I don't know, this is going to sound bad, but I don't know if it's because they're doing less with her. Like, I want to see Katie Cassidy more. I want to feel like she's more important to the team, especially because she's Black fucking Canary. She shouldn't just be there in the background. And I get that she's debating Oliver. I guess I want to seem like she has a more important voice. I don't want her to just kind of be there for certain scenes and then be gone, you know? So I don't know. When they did do more with Laurel, people didn't like it. The drug stuff, the alcohol stuff, people were like, oh, fuck this character. So now they're doing less and less with her. I don't know if that's why I like her, or if I want to see better writing with her. And Arrow coming to the point where he ended up saving Dark's family, his wife and his daughter, I liked. It showed that he hadn't crossed that line yet. He still was willing to save this villainous family. But then when you see how Dark gets away, and then when you see how Anarchy gets away from Thea, who Thea I also liked in this episode because she felt a little responsible when she saw Anarchy's face and saw his blood loss and how crazy he was. She felt responsible for that, so I like that. She had some good moments. I don't know what to think or make of her and her pseudo dating the campaign manager guy. I don't really know if I care too much about it, but it was a little funny that Anarchy beat her up and got away. It's like, wow, these heroes are really kind of sucking right now, but you know what? They're going through a lot. They're not going to win every single time, so I guess I can forgive her for that. It was more interesting that after Oliver saves Dark's family, you see that Dark's wife is just as evil and vicious as Dark is. And she's very much either for or a part of what Dark is doing. I was like, wow, fuck her. Last thing I want to mention is the flashbacks, because I don't love to talk about the flashbacks. Like, more recently, I haven't cared about them. I think this year's flashbacks have been the least interesting, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the storyline I'm not into, or if it's frustrating to where like at first it was cool to see them building towards something, and then it seemed like they regressed with cutting Oliver's hair, or having him, like, he was supposed to be getting to a point where he was more vicious and more willing to kill on the island stuff to coincide with where he was in season 1. But it seems like he's now back to being a really good person. He's back to being a good guy on the island, and I don't know. I'm kind of over the island stuff for the moment. Other than that, good episode. I had fun. But speaking of fun, last show that we're talking about, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I've been anticipating this show for so long, ever since I saw that first trailer months and months ago. This show is ambitious. That's probably the best word I can use to describe it. It's ambitious. It's willing to go for things that the superhero TV shows on CW especially hasn't really gone for. I mean, the budget looks great. The production value, the special effects. This looks legit. You're not sitting here watching it and going like, wow, that looks cheap, or wow, that looks so TV. Like, I can go with this from a production standpoint. The very beginning, you see London 2166, where you see Vandal Savage conquers the world. He's worse than Hitler. He's killing everybody. Hell, the shot where he killed the mother and that kid, just shot him, which I thought in the face. Like, it was brutal stuff. Then we see Rip Hunter, who is a Time Lord, Time Master, who, I guess you see that he disobeyed the council and went off on his own to develop this plan. And this plan is to take this group of heroes, or criminals in some cases, bring them together, have this group to stop Vandal Savage. And the way how he sold it on them being legends, and they can really, save the world and do these big things. Hell, I bought it. I was like, fuck yeah, join. I mean, I love that Ray Palmer went and talked to Oliver. Like, just seeing Oliver Queen for a couple of scenes here was surprising, but very welcoming, cool. But obviously Ray Palmer, like, the fact that he felt so insignificant, seeing that nobody cared about his death, to now that being his driving force, I think that's interesting. Sarah Lance and her whole story, I'm fascinated by her because she has been resurrected more than once, it seems like, and she doesn't know what to do, really. She's kind of lost. And even just the scene of her and Laurel, like them training together, was very cool. I'm kind of realizing that's the first time we've seen something like that with them. And Laurel giving her the White Canary suit was all very cool. But honestly, the kid who plays Firestorm, the kid who has to merge with Dr. Stein, I was getting a little annoyed with him being so against this. He was like, oh, I don't want to do it, blah, blah. Like, it was funny that the doctor sort of knocked him out to trick him to get on the plane. But I was like, come on, dude. Like, what else are you doing? When somebody says, hey, save the world, you fucking do it. I get that maybe it was interesting to have one of the characters not want to do it, but I'm just like, come on, dude. We've already went through a whole episode on Flash where you didn't want to do something and then was talked into being the hero. Why do we have to do that again? So maybe that was a little annoying. But then when we got to the point when we found out that Rip Hunter lied to them, and sure, Vandal Savage is still a dick, and he is still evil and going to take over the world. That's still true, but this group, they're not legends. They're people who aren't going to affect the future really at all. Like, he picked them because it's not going to affect any time ripples. It's not going to affect anything if he takes them and does stuff. And I I was more fascinated by it than that, because I was willing to go along with this show, but I was sort of questioning, like, why did he pick these people? Like, why? Why? What makes, like, how are you going to make me think that Firestorm is a better pick than Superman? You know, like, just logically. But when I found out that, I was like, okay, fuck yeah, that makes sense. So, really enjoy it. Really enjoy seeing some of these characters who clearly don't go well together. Mostly like Captain Cold or Heatwave. Like, seeing those characters interact with heroes, I like. I love seeing Sarah Lance, like, just kick ass, like in the bar scene where she just beat all those guys' asses. I really, really like Katie Lotz and Sarah Lance. Love that they keep resurrecting her character. And just seeing them time travel to 1975 was very cool. Quick scene or quick moments, but still, it's just the fact that this show is willing to do this. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm on board. Hell yeah, I want to keep watching this show. So, a lot of fun. All of these shows, really, if you think about it, this is some of the best time to watch TV or to be a superhero fan or just to take all of this stuff in. Couldn't ask for more on television. Anyways, guys, long video, but I'd love to know, what did you think about any one of these shows or all of them, whatever you're watching. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!